Hi, it's Billy Davis with the Kentucky Mountain Bike Association Louisville chapter, and this is the Iroquois Park Trail Concept Plan, and we've created this presentation as a tool to gain valuable feedback around our proposal to develop world-class single-track trails, multi-use single-track trails at Iroquois Park. So the presentation covers why the trails make sense for Iroquois. We take a look at the current conditions of the upland forest and then the actual upland trail concept plan. So the trail at the top of the screen is an example of the type of trail that we would build. These are multi-use human-powered sports trails open to hiking, running, biking, dog walking, if it ever snowed, even cross-country skiing. So anything under human power would be open to do on these trails. The human-powered sports trails that we're proposing are part of an overall vision that Kimba Louisville has for Louisville to create 100 miles of these natural surface human-powered sports trails inside the planned or proposed Louisville Loop. So that's 100 miles of mountain biking and hiking trails at different parks, all within a 100-mile walking and biking paved path. That's a great plan that's really going to put Louisville on the map as the premier urban trails city in the eastern United States. There's an overview. This is from the Louisville Loop, and what we've done is made some circles here to indicating where we're currently planning, constructing, planning, or proposing trails for our 100-mile system. In the green are where we're actually already planning or building trails. That's Eva Bandman Cyclocross Park, Cherokee Seneca Park, and Waverly Park in southwest Louisville. And of course, in southeast Louisville is the parklands of Floyd's Fork, where a minimum of 25 and up to 40 miles of these world-class human-powered sports trails are being planned and will be completed by 2015, which is very exciting. This is what makes our whole plan possible. The two additional areas where we're currently proposing that we would construct trails are at Iroquois Park and at Jefferson Memorial Forest, Mormon Hills. You can see here by sandwiching Waverly Park in between Iroquois Park and JMF, we'll create a 50-mile human-powered sports trail system. Now, it's very unusual to find a 50-mile human-powered sports trail system or mountain bike trail system within a city, and so these three parks together will be attracting folks from over 2 hours drive into southwest Louisville. And we've heard over and over again from that neighborhood that they would want more people to visit and patronize their businesses. This 50-mile plan allows that to happen in southwest Louisville. This is an overview of the Southwest Greenways Master Plan. This is a plan that was just completed by Louisville Metro Parks along with the community, and the plan basically shows possible greenway connections between the parks and the neighborhoods in southwest Louisville. In the yellow is the proposed new greenways, avenues of the greenways. The red is the Louisville Loop. The green is a soft surface possible equestrian trail, and then the purple are some secondary interconnects. You can see here that Iroquois Park is included in the Southwest Greenways Trail Plan. It has an existing equestrian trail, and then it's also been planned for off-road cycling and hiking trails at Iroquois. They would be interconnected by the greenways. Here's a small purple link that shows the Cardinal Hill link to Waverly. This is only 2 miles apart, and once we connect Iroquois to Waverly, now you have instead of 2 separate parks, you have 1 larger park. And then a little further to the south, 4 miles, is the JMF Mormon Hills, where off-road cycling has been master planned there, and we're working with Metro Parks natural areas to develop an overall plan for the trails at Mormon Hills and how those would complement the wonderful trails that are going to be built at the parklands of Floyd's Fork. So you can see that our plan is in direct alignment with what's going on with the overall trail planning for the city. So that's why the trails are great for the city. Why are they great for the folks and the neighbors around Iroquois Park? Well, one of the key things to get people out to exercise is making trails more accessible. And if you have biking and hiking routes near your home, you're more likely to exercise. And this is my son Isaac, and it's all about keeping it fun. So if we want kids to get out and exercise more, we're going to need to make it more relative to what they like and more fun. And what's more fun than riding a bike? So these trails, the main upland forest trail that we're proposing at Iroquois Park, will be a beginner level trail for everyone. It'll be world class, and you can get out there your first time and have a great experience. So kids that get involved with cycling or running become more active adults. And beyond improving the quality of life and increasing property values for the neighbors around Iroquois Park, it's also a key factor that employers are looking for to locate their businesses to a town. Iroquois Park's a really beautiful park. It has great topography and mature forests. It has a lot of wonderful facilities already around the perimeter. If you compare that to Waverly Park, Waverly is the most used park in the city that doesn't have any bathroom or water facilities at all. So Iroquois got a lot of the great facilities, but really none of the high quality trails that you would see at Waverly and now at Cherokee. When we talk about building trails at Iroquois Park, one of the questions I get is it safe at Iroquois? And what you can see from the latest review of Metro Parks by the mayor's office is that Iroquois Park was the most vandalized park in the city, and the main reason for that is there are very few upland forest users at the top of the park and in the woods of the park, and so what you have is the ability for people that are up to no good to do that without being seen. Now, if we take a beautiful area like this that's at Iroquois Park and put a wonderful trail through it like we've done here at Cherokee, or this one that's in Brown County, this was developed by Alex Stewart and Spectrum Trail Design, the same trail builder that we're working with to develop the trails at Iroquois. Here's a before and after of another trail we've built at Cherokee Park. Barringer Hill at Cherokee Park, the Fresh Air Loop at Waverly. So what we've found when we've built these hot world-class trails at Cherokee and Waverly is that we've pushed out the type of folks that you don't want in your park and replaced them with the kind of quality residents that are in a park for the right reasons to really enjoy nature and have fun and exercise. All the trails that you just looked at were built by an all-volunteer organization working with Metro Parks Natural Area and Olmsted Parks Conservancy, and we're really the Kentucky Mountain Bike Association is really answering the call from the city to get engaged and support our parks and build the type of park facilities that you want to see, because the city really doesn't have the finances available to construct those facilities. And over the last little over 2 years since we founded our organization, we've donated over 2,400 hours of skilled labor, building over 5 miles of world-class trail valued at over $100,000. So let's talk just a moment about the type of trails that we build. A lot of the paths that you're used to seeing, and certainly the ones at Iroquois Park, are unsustainable footpaths that run up and down the hill from point A to point B, which is the human nature to try to get from point A to point B when you're walking as quickly as possible. The issue with these trails is that they're perpendicular to the contours of the terrain, meaning that whenever it rains, water is going to run down these trails, and water can't get off the trail once it gets on. So it basically becomes a creek. Every time it rains, it removes the trail tread, causing erosion. That's really what's causing the main part of the erosion. The way we build human-powered sports trails are parallel to the contour, meaning the normal water is going to sheet down the hill across the trail and continue its normal sheeting flow. The easier path is to continue sheeting versus running on the trail tread. When you keep the water off the trail tread, then you have a sustainable tread that's going to last 50 to 100 years, for instance. Another technique we use in sustainable trail designs are grade reversals. You can see that this trail is trending uphill, but at a minimum of every 40 feet we reverse the grade. So if water does get trapped on this trail, it doesn't want to run uphill. It's forced off at the low point. This prevents the water on the trail from gaining a lot of volume and velocity, which reduces its ability to remove the trail tread. These are some of the latest techniques in sustainable trail designs. So we've talked a little bit about building the trails at Iroquois. Let's talk about allowing bikes on the trails. a lot of people believe that bikes are bad for the natural resources and harmful, but all the studies that have been done show that on a sustainably built trail, bikes cause no more wear and erosion than hikers. So it's all about the way the trail is built versus the type of user. Um, and then what I'm making reference here to on this chart is a survey that was done by Olmsted Parks Conservancy in 2009. And Cherokee Park trails are the most highly used trails in the city. The survey counts show that at any particular trailhead, there's a trail user every 15 minutes, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So no other park even comes close to this kind of use. The users are 50% bikes and 50% pedestrians. And when they were surveyed about multi-use trail and sharing trails, the overwhelming response is that multi-use trails work, and that's the type of trails that folks want. The key to creating the right experience is setting the correct expectations. So signage is going to be key at Iroquois Park, so everyone knows what to expect when they get on the trails and where they should be. Okay, so that's the background about why we should build the trails, or why we think we should build the trails at Iroquois. Let's take a look at the actual current conditions in the conceptual trail plan. This is an overview of Iroquois Park, north up overview, and what we're going to do is overlay the original Olmsted firm plan onto this. And you can see here in the purple are the original trail design, trail alignments. And what I'm going to do is to tease those out so you can see them more clearly. The orange represents a sustainable type of trail that we talked about, and the pink are going to be the unsustainable trails, the footpaths up and down the hills. And you can see that if I turn on the contours, you can see that the orange lines generally run parallel to the contours and the pink lines are perpendicular. And if we look at the current trail conditions today and the trail alignments, guess which trails are still there? They are the unsustainable alignments, of course, because they continue to erode to this day. Water's always going to run down these trails, and they're going to continue to erode. Most of the sustainable alignments, we're not too sure how many were built, but when you go in there, you really can't even hardly see the corridor where these trails existed. They have such little impact on the natural resources. And that's the type of trail that we're proposing to build. That's what we stand for, sustainable trails. Now, the development at the top of Iroquois Park, the road design that was originally done, that caused some problems. It actually interrupted the natural sheet flow of water down Iroquois hillsides, and it funneled water into specific points, which caused a lot of erosion and deep gullying. We spent a week with Alex Stewart from Spectrum Trail Designs surveying Iroquois Park, and our plan is expertly routed through Iroquois Park to provide a wonderful Olmsted experience and to make the crossings at these gullies at the most efficient points, so the trail doesn't need a lot of infrastructure to be completed. So it's not a one-size-fits-all trail. It's really customized for the topography and uses the topography that's at and the problems that are at Iroquois. And then finally, we want to take a look at the overall geology of Iroquois and how that compares to somewhere where we know the trails are very sustainable and reliable, like Waverly Park. At Waverly Park, it can rain, and an hour later on our sustainable trails you can use those without any issue. And you can see here that Iroquois Park has a lot of the common geology, actually the same geology as Waverly. So we're confident that these sustainable trails will be dependable. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual upland forest loop. It's a 5-mile beginner level loop. You can have the same expectation the entire 5 miles, so you're not going to be on an easy part and then it's going to get hard all of a sudden. So if you're not in shape or you just want to get in and try trails, you want to start exercising, if you're a kid and you just you want to try riding your bike on the trails, you're going to be able to go here and have a world-class experience and have a lot of fun your first time out. You hardly find a trail like this anywhere in the country, a 5-mile long world-class beginner level trail. That's what we're proposing for Iroquois. It's a trail for everyone. One of the key features of this trail is a 2-mile gradual 3% climb to the top. This will allow all types of trail users to get to the top of Iroquois Park in a sustainable way and enjoy themselves. And then we have a 5% descent off the back. So if you wanted to make this this trail harder, you could go up the 5% side and down the 3%. Just to give you some reference, the maximum grade of a handicap ramp is about an 8% slope. So this overall grade is very gradual for this entire trail. This is a trail for everyone, 7 years old to 70 years old. Here's an example of what the trail would look like. Okay, so of course not everyone's a beginner, and there are a lot of other types of user, intermediate and expert users. So we wanted to show a proposal for their experience, so you can start taking the main 5-mile loop and interconnecting it with other loops. The next loop that we would show is Jacob's Trail. And Jacob's Trail, one of the key features to it is it has an 8% climb to the top of Iroquois. So that adds a lot of efficiency that a hiker's looking for. They want to get to the top quicker, but it's in a sustainable way. And then Jacob's Trail runs around the south point, the most sustainable crossing point of the south point, and then runs along some really nice sandstone areas at Iroquois, providing a fantastic homestead experience in the upland woods. This trail would be narrower and more difficult, great for hiking and more intermediate mountain bike users. And then our proposed expert level trail would be the Burnt Knob Trail. This trail runs around the north point and then descends down. This trail we're proposing would be have more rock work, some steeper sections, really great for hiking, more difficult hiking, and also more difficult off-road cycling. And then so if the Burnt Knob Trail and the Jacob's Trail lean a little bit more to the hiking experience, the Krupp's Trail would lean a little bit more to the biking experience with bike optimized turns down the west face. So we'd have 4 different individual trails, all with their own flavor. And the overall trail system itself really balances the more technical type of trails that you have at Cherokee Park and the very smooth trails that you have at Waverly Park. Iroquois Park will be a blend of those two, offering an expectation. Each trail's expectation and level will be graded, so you know what to expect once you get on each trail. Really a fantastic concept in our opinion. Okay, let's take a look at the Upland Forest Trail concept, how it's relative to the existing equestrian trail that exists at Iroquois Park. That's in the red here, and you can see that our trails keep very good separation from the equestrian trail, with the exception of one potential crossing point. It's a link that takes you to the Iroquois parking trailhead. And the way this would work is that the human-powered sports trail goes uphill toward the equestrian trail in either direction. So the equestrian trail crossing is at the highest point. This will allow very good sight lines for the equestrian users and have them at the highest point at the crossing. And let's take a look at how our overall trail concept compares to the original sustainable alignments of the Olmsted firm. You can see that our concept is very close to the type of experience that the Olmsted firm had laid out for the upland forest, minus the unsustainable components. So we link our trail sustainably the entire way, and their concept had some sustainable alignments and some unsustainable. And we'll take a look at some 3D views. Generally, what you have on here is the original trail concept plan on the top left. The bottom left is the current conditions, and then our concept for Iroquois Park. This is on the east face and the northwest face and the southwest face. You can see another potential trailhead here near the below the archery. And then finally, one of the things that we wanted to show you was a a way to realign the existing equestrian trail to reduce user conflicts. Currently, the equestrian trail runs very near the disc golf course in this area. We would propose a minor realignment of that equestrian trail to reduce user conflicts, equestrians and disc golfers. Here's a view of Iroquois Park relative to Waverly Park and that 2-mile link across Cardinal Hill that I was talking about. Now you, instead of having two separate parks, you have one larger park. And then JMF Mormon Hills just off to the south. So who will build this trail? Kimba Volunteers, and Olmsted Parks Conservancy will be working in collaboration with a professional trail builder, Alex Stewart of Spectrum Trail Designs, who's built Brown County, French Lick, and other very successful trail systems. We would work with him Alex would do a lot of the cuts, and our organization would do a lot of the finish work and rock armoring, etc. This will significantly reduce the cost of the trail, doing a turnkey trail system. Who will maintain it? Olmsted Parks Conservancy, and of course the Kimba Louisville organization is really putting more sustainability into our organization. We're just now bringing on 10 additional trail leaders. For instance, we just had a trail event at Seneca Park where we were able to bring in hikers, trail runners, and mountain bikers, all led by organization to do trail maintenance. So we're building that kind of sustainability into our organization so that the minimal maintenance that is needed on these sustainable trails will get done. There's also the ability to partner with Metro Parks Natural Areas. They have a proposal to do a permitting system, and we're open to discussing that as well. Depending on funding, the construction could take 6 to 24 months. With our collaboration with the professional trail builder and our volunteer work, we anticipate the cost of Phase 1 5-mile upland forest loop at $57,000 and then Phase 2 at $52,000. We've received a major donation from David and Betty Jones to kickstart the project, and so we're in a position where we have around $40,000 of the $57,000 needed to do Phase 1. That's our proposal for building world-class sustainable trails in the upland forest of Iroquois Park. We really believe that Iroquois Park deserves a world-class trail system, a sustainable one that protects the natural resources there and provides facilities for all the folks of Louisville to enjoy. Thanks for taking time to listen.